should know all about. I'm here with Michelle Carrillo from Sol Barre in Cathedral City. It's a fantastic, bright, airy, wonderful bar studio, and I can't wait to hear all about it. Let's start first with how long you've been here.
So we opened at the end of January of this year.
Oh, so pretty new, 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
How's that been going for you?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's ups and downs.
Sure.
Yeah, it's summer right now, so it's a little slow.
Yeah.
But it's been really good.
Overall pretty good?
Yeah.
So what did you do before the bar studio, and how did you plan to open this?
Yeah, it's kind of a long story. So when I moved here, it was right in the middle of the pandemic, 2020, so I was teaching online.
Oh, okay.
Online barre and Pilates videos. I did a little YouTube. I had like an online studio, like on-demand videos. So that's kind of what I was doing. And then I moved here and started teaching at a couple studios here, gyms, bar fitness, and then well, actually, I should backtrack. I'm from Canada originally, and I did have a studio there as well.
So you've been doing bar for a very long time?
Yes, I've been teaching bar for almost 10 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I did have my studio in Canada. It was a dance and a bar studio, so I taught children as well. So that closed when I moved. So that was always still in the back of my mind.
Sure.
Like, I still wanted my own studio because I loved it so much. So yeah, I thought, just in the back of my mind, it might one day be a good idea to open a bar studio in the Palm Springs area, and then the opportunity just kind of came up unexpectedly last year, and then kind of
here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what got you to start teaching bar in the first place? Like, what drew you to it?
Yeah. So I grew up dancing, and bar is kind of based on ballet. Some things are based on ballet. And it was created by a ballet dancer as well. So I grew up dancing. That's how I got introduced to bar in the first place. And then a certification was happening in my hometown. So I just decided to do it, and I started teaching at my dance studio. It was just a dance studio, then I made it a bar studio as well. Totally fell in love with it the first time I tried it. So.
Yeah. You know, we were just saying earlier, and I've tried bar before. I really like it, but it's like when you're watching what's happening, it seems like there's nothing going on, but it is so hard. Yeah, it is actually so challenging. Yeah. Do you have so let me back up. So you've been here for 6 months. You got here in August of 20. Well, and you were teaching a little bit. So what made you feel like you were ready to open up your own studio and get started? I've always,
since I opened my first business, my dance studio, I just always liked doing things on my own way.
Sure.
Teaching at like a gym or a studio, it's just, you're only there to teach, and you don't really have that business ownership and community building type feeling.
Right.
And I wanted that feeling again, of like that kind of small town. I'm from a really small town.
Yeah.
So that community feeling, and just building something for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
When you create something like this, you get to really sort of decide what the culture of your space is.
Yeah.
Right? And like what you want people to feel when they walk through the door.
Right.
So how would you describe that for somebody?
For Sol Barre?
For here.
Definitely like that small town feeling. Community, tight knit. It's a really small space, as you can see already, so we can only fit like 15 people in here. So yeah, that just really welcoming, no judgment, no like, we don't talk about like the physical appearance very much in our classes, so it's not really about like losing weight or being skinny and that kind of thing. It's more about the feeling, the mental well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I've been in the class, I find myself focusing so hard on like that little movement.
Yes.
So it's like mentally challenging a little bit, because it's not as I guess easy to see or easy to recognize as like, you know, jumping jacks. Or lifting weights.
It's definitely a mental workout too. It can even be like, for me, kind of like a form of meditation, like almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have a new person come in, and you know, maybe they're not you know, generally like a physically active person, what do you say to them?
I just make sure to tell them that our classes are for all levels, all abilities, brand new people, or people who've been taking barre for 10 plus years.
Right.
definitely just set them up and tell them, like, show them where to go and what they're doing. Because sometimes, you know, when you'll go to a new class, it can be really intimidating, or if there's a lot of people. So it's nice here because we're very small classes as well. Just make sure they're comfortable, set up, know what's happening, know what's going to happen. Kind of. This bar can be a little shocking.
Very true.
Yeah. So yeah, just welcoming.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So you moved out here August of 20.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yes. Right in the middle.
Trying to figure. You're from Canada.
Yeah.
You've only lived in California for a short time.
Yeah.
What was it like when you came to the desert at first? Like, how did you feel?
I actually felt kind of at home. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was living in Anaheim for a year when I first got to California. It was, you know, too busy, too many people.
For sure.
Yeah. So the desert kind of reminded me of my own hometown. It's not like it's a super small town, but it's kind of like a small town.
Sure.
So yeah, I feel really comfortable here. I love it.
Yeah. Would you consider it home?
Maybe not quite yet.
Not quite.
Canada will always be home.
Yeah. Have you been home recently?
It's been almost 2 years. So.
Okay. Okay. Are you getting the itch?
Yes.
Especially when it's 118.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. What was so you've had a couple businesses so far, one in Canada, one in here, one here.
I actually do have another business.
And what's that?
Oh yeah, she knows, but it's called Fit Batch.
Okay.
So it is. I basically teach barre and Pilates classes for bachelorette parties at their Airbnbs.
Oh my gosh! Say less.
Yeah.
So tell me how this got started and
yes. That happened kind of randomly. So I was doing my online classes. I had a bit of an Instagram following building up, and someone just randomly messaged me on Instagram saying, "Hey, do you want to teach my bachelorette party like a barre class at our Airbnb?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do!"
Tell me when.
Yeah. So that was at the very end of 2021.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, maybe I'll try to like put it out there and do this, and it kind of just exploded. And
really,
yeah. So that's what I do on the weekends. Like every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm basically doing all my bachelorette parties. And I did that for 2022, 2023, and that is what actually like allowed me to open Sol Barre because.
Because the cost of having like a brick and mortar. Okay, so that's really interesting. So that's like, so you were obviously already online teaching class, so you're comfortable being in that space.
Yeah.
Now you're hired to go with a bunch of wild ladies.
Yeah.
Because you know what I always say? Okay, so I worked in a bar for many years.
Yeah.
And whenever the bachelorettes would come in, I would always be like, oh, here comes a bunch of drunk loose women.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe you get them before that, but
yeah, they're kind of hungover or maybe drunk already.
Yeah. But just an unusual business plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you market that and how did you make that work?
That was mostly Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram's great. I guess my website too, like SEO or whatever. It's basically, and partnering with other like bachelorette focused businesses. Like I don't know if you've heard of the Cabana Boys.
No.
They're like basically bartenders that go to like the Airbnb.
And they wait on the girls.
Yeah, they like don't have shirts on.
That is, I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah,
like,
so
you heard it here, okay?
Yeah, partnering with them.
That's awesome.
And other companies like decorating companies and just like promoting each other.
Love that.
And there's been like a big boom of bachelorette parties lately, just because COVID delayed everything.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And we're a unique location because we're really like 2 hours from so many different things.
Yeah.
So it's a quick little weekend trip.
Yeah.
People can do that, and Palm Springs, wherever, Palm Desert, however you couch it, is like fun and relaxation in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do that. So you've been doing that quite often. You do that a couple times a week.
Yeah. So that's what I do on weekends, and then during the week I'm here teaching in the studio, and then obviously all the back end stuff as well. So it's a lot.
I was just gonna say that's
kind of crazy, but
how do you feel about managing all of that? Because that's I mean, it's not easy to promote yourself on social media. That takes time. That's a job, right, Christina? That's a job.
Yes.
That's not easy. And then managing a business, which includes like inventory, things that you need to, and all of that.
Yes.
And so, how do you manage all that?
I don't really know, honestly. I do it. I love what I do. So the boring stuff, the not so fun stuff like accounting and marketing
Right.
and stuff. I just say, well, you just got to do it because
Right.
you're not going to have anything if you don't do it. So
Right.
I do yoga as well. So that helps.
Okay, well, let's just add another thing.
And we do have yoga classes here
Here,
too.
okay,
So, yeah.
okay. So, really quick, what is your bachelorette teaching? What do you call that business?
Fit batch.
Fit batch.
Yeah, it's like short for bachelorette.
Yeah,
kind of
I
a
got
little
it.
play on words.
But I was like, when you said it, I was like, is that a cookie
Yeah.
situation? Because I was thinking batch of cookies. So
Oh.
fit batch. I
Yeah,
definitely.
BACH.
BACH. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so now you're here as well. How many days a week are you here?
I'm here Monday to Thursdays,
Okay.
sometimes Fridays and Saturdays if I need to cover.
Yeah.
Squeeze it in.
Do you have other
Yeah.
instructors that work here with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, girl, when are we
Yeah.
doing our me time?
I know.
Do not be like Christina and I with no me time. Yes.
Yeah.
You got, okay, so good. So you have a couple instructors.
Four other instructors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a lot of classes to cover.
Yeah.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So businesses, I know it's slow in the summertime,
Yeah.
but you've made it this far.
Yeah.
Right? Do you feel like this might take over the Fit Batch, or is Fit Batch kind of like a passion project too?
Yeah, I think they're both kind of even.
Mhm.
At first, it was Fit Batch because that's all I was doing, and then this kind of took over. So I'm just trying to balance them both.
Right. Right. Where do you
yeah.
find that you struggle with that?
Definitely time management, procrastination, and the accounting. The accounting. I do everything on my own. I'm like a
Wow.
one-woman show.
Yeah.
Except for my instructors.
Yeah.
And my husband. My husband helps with
Help too.
the handyman stuff.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It's very handy to have a handyman
Yeah.
at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But,
So you've owned multiple businesses at this point. You own two now.
yeah.
What would you say would be like one of the most important things somebody who's looking to do that? What's step one?
Definitely you have to have a passion for it, I think. If you don't have the passion for it, like, kind of what's the point?
Yeah,
You
that
know?
comes up so much,
Mhm.
right? Because
Yeah.
if you don't want to get up and do it every day,
Yeah.
then you're not going to be the accountant and
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. You're not going to want to do it, right?
Yeah.
You definitely have to have the passion.
Yes.
For sure. What was like a surprise? Like as you were building these businesses, was there something that happened at any point where you're like, oh, I never expected that? Either an easy thing or an obstacle. Either way, just something that you didn't expect.
Yeah, definitely with Fit Batch, I did not expect it to grow as much as it did
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then basically allow me to open this
Right.
basically with no loans or anything, like no debt.
So that's a successful business.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like with a studio, it's obviously harder to just start making money right away because there's all your overhead expenses. So
Right.
with Fit Batch, I didn't really have any overhead expenses.
Right.
So I wasted all that money on opening, and now I'm just trying to make money here. So.
Yeah, well, because you have to, what's the word I'm thinking of? Furnish all of
Yes,
this stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool. I love this Fit Batch stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's such a different thing, and it like you said, maybe you don't have the funds for brick and mortar, and being online is not enough,
Yeah.
right? And going to these events, that's super fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that you'll have a partner in that too? Like maybe another person that you would send to do these Fit Batch situations?
Yes, so I actually do have one girl here doing yoga. So I do Barre Pilates, someone
Okay.
else does yoga. And then I do have a few other locations as well. So
Oh.
Scottsdale, Arizona, and San Diego. So
Total
it's-
bachelorette heavy areas.
bachelorette destinations.
Yeah. Okay, so this
kinda-
business is now out of just our little valley.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Instagram. I know.
And it's free.
yes.
Instagram is free.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was doing my online bar videos, I connected with a lot of other instructors on
Okay.
Instagram who were also posting
Mhm.
content, and so I met an instructor in San Diego, and I met an instructor in Scottsdale. So then I was like,
And so-
hey, do you want to teach these bachelorette parties?
Right.
So
And they're like, yes,
Yeah.
love the idea.
Yeah.
How did you structure that? Do you get a portion of their fees, or how does that work?
it's basically the business covers all the income, and I just pay them like an
Like an
point.
hour. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
can do that like worldwide. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you could be in Hawaii.
Potentially, yeah.
You could be, you know, in Tennessee because you
Yeah.
know Nashville is like
Yes.
the place right now.
Yeah.
I really like
Yeah.
that.
So maybe we'll be nationwide. one day. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and who knew?
Yeah.
Instagram free. Going to places to do it where you get paid to do it. It's not. I'm sure it's not inexpensive,
No. Yeah. No.
right?
Mhm.
Basically, your overhead there is like non-existent.
Yeah.
just a
the
few tools.
The mats and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you have a business in multiple cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool. I did not know of
Crazy.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you see that going in the next couple years?
Right now it's kind of leveled out. Like when I first started, I was like focusing on like expanding in all these places,
Mhm.
like San Diego and everything. And now I'm at a point where it's kind of like good right now.
Right.
But maybe in the next like 2 or 3 years, like you said, Nashville is a really good destination. I would like to expand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not
see where
not
that
go
goes.
like too much that I can't control it or like
Right.
handle it really.
Feel comfortable with
Yeah.
where it's at.
Yeah, unless I add some help. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Best piece of advice anybody has ever given you?
I don't remember if a person said this or I like read it somewhere, but the time will pass anyway, basically. So if you're like considering doing something, you really want to do something, but you're like, oh, it'll take too much time, or I don't know, something like that. It's like the time will pass anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you can wake up 5 years from now and maybe do this amazing thing and have a business, whatever it may be, or you can wake up 5 years later and not have done it and not tried it all.
Yeah.
So that, I always have that in my head. I'm like, oh, it'll take too much time.
Right.
The time will pass
Okay.
anyway.
Exactly. That's so true. I mean, I love that in like so many ways because I think about that a lot too. It's like, hey, you know, we're going from this year to next.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish, or where do you want to go, or
Yeah.
who do you want to be
Yeah.
just in this time? Because make the decision. Otherwise, it's still going to be from this year to next year
Yeah.
with no decision made. And where
Yeah.
are you?
Exactly.
I freaking love that.
Yeah.
Very,
Also, manifestation
very-
is something I'm really into. So
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. If you can like think of it in your head, then it's basically it already exists. And if you want something,
Absolutely.
you just have to imagine, or not even imagine, just be like you already have it. Like
Mhm.
act like you already have it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So 1000% agree. Everything, and I teach a class, and I've heard this so many times. Everything begins in your mind.
Yes.
It always begins in your mind, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes into creation, right? So, and when you say that you believe you work to manifest things, and what is your process around that? Is it literally like, I'm going to open 3 more bar studios, or what does that feel like?
I write a lot of things down, even in my phone, like on my notes app, and I don't even know. If I have an idea, I guess I write it down. Meditation,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into like a little woo-woo stuff as well. I won't get too much into it.
I'm about it. Yeah, say whatever
Yeah,
you like. Yeah,
like,
I think
I
it's
don't know,
totally like a real thing.
crystals and
Sure.
and tarot cards and stuff like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
I'm into that too.
Yeah.
Like totally different area, but
Yeah, no. I think it's always interesting. Like everybody has a different way of making decisions or doing things,
Yeah.
right? And there's so many ways
yeah.
to bring into your life that could help you make those decisions. And I think whatever works for you is what works for you.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people who believe in the energies of the crystals and things like this. And manifestation is talked about in every world,
Yeah.
right? No matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
The high level producers are like your affirmations, which is essentially working on manifesting things,
Yeah.
It's like a real thing. And I think that if more people just believed in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would be able to accomplish a lot more.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
that's also part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to believe.
Yeah,
You have to believe that
you
that's
can do
going
it.
to happen.
Yeah.
And that it's going to, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where can people find this super cute studio?
So we are in Cathedral City, East Palm Canyon Drive. Should I say the actual address?
Yeah, that's up to you.
Okay.
But they can find you.
Yeah. So we're at 67555 East Palm Canyon in Cathedral City. It's right across the street from the Target, Trader Joe's, technically the Palm Springs Target. It's called, I don't know why, but we're on Instagram at Sol Barre Fitness, solbarrefitness.com. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. And what about Fit Batch?
Oh yeah, Fit Batch is also Instagram. It's at fit.batch. That's BACH, and fitbatch.com as well.
Very, very cool. Anything else that you'd like to say?
Come try barre.
Yeah. So can they, is there like a specific day that new people would want to come, or is it
just
mixed
any
levels?
Anytime.
Yeah.
Like any class is open for new people. And we don't just have barre. We have mat Pilates.
Okay.
We have Pilates suspension, which is these things on the wall.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was like,
And yoga, but barre is like our signature class. So
Okay.
I recommend definitely trying it at some point.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
This has been fantastic. May I have
you.
a-
Yes, great to meet you.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. See you next time.